Hey y'all, welcome back. Nothing but Reds coming at you. Podcast. We're discussing none other than our own Reds from the American viewpoint. So I figured out today that I'm an idiot when it comes to technology, and I absolutely cannot do any sort of recording of anybody but myself on a computer. So I figured that out the hard way. I was gonna have somebody on, and I just can't do anything. So, but that's neither here nor there. So let's talk about our boys, right? So I got the stats in front of me. We'll talk about that first. But first off, I just want to say I called it for the record, first and foremost. 4-0, and then this dude Jams on the other channel, the Liverpool vs Everybody channel. Yeah, he called it too, 4-0. But solid win. And I was talking with my buddy before this, and he was saying he was agreeing every attack looked deadly, right? Everything we were throwing at him looked deadly. It wasn't like it's looked in the past or the past few weeks where it's almost like when we get in the final third we die. And I don't know why that is, but today they did not. They looked like the old team, the team from last year, which is what we expect, right? Being in the Champions League, playing at home, they didn't even have any fans there. I mean, there are a lot of aspects at play, but I mean, overall, impressed. I was actually able to watch the game, luckily. I know I said I wasn't going to be able to, but I was able to watch it, and God, we looked good. Fabinho looked good. Shaqiri, unbelievable. But we'll get into that. We'll get into that, y'all. Stay patient. Stay patient with me. So if you're with me, like and subscribe. I'm going to start doing podcasts, kind of combining everything I'm done. I had like a trial period before, and I wanted to see what I liked, what I didn't, what works, what didn't. So I'm going to try to combine all the things that I like. And then one thing, y'all let me know if you like the length or not of the podcast, and we can shorten that up. But anyway, so looking at our formation, we played a 4-2-3-1, as did they. I don't know if Klopp likes switching it up against weaker opposition, which I don't think Red Star's weak. They're just, compared to the rest of our group, subpar. But 4-2-3-1, Klopp's used it before. We saw it. The most notable game I remember is when last Premier League game of last season when we played, I think it was Brighton, and we lit them up 4-0, and I think he had Solanke up top. That was the last. This formation really tends to work for Klopp, and I wonder if that's what it was, if a change in formation was prompted, given that we haven't been doing so well offensively. It's interesting. But let's get into the stats, y'all. So first off, the league standings, we're in first place, 6-5-4-1. Liverpool, Napoli, PSG, Red Star, respectively. That's good. Goal difference is 4, so we're up 3 on Napoli. Good for Napoli, really. I mean, guys, can you imagine if PSG gets knocked out in the group stage? Why? With the talent that they have, that would be crazy. That'd be crazy. I'm getting off topic. All right. So let's look at some other stats here. We'll get into it. So overall fouls. Well, let me click on full stats. So I'm using ESPN for the stats. They carry the Champions League stats, and then I use the Premier League website for obviously the Premier League game. So fouls. They had 20 fouls. Holy crap. 20 fouls. And we had 10, so 50% of what they had. Wow. So they had 5 yellow cards, we had none. No red cards. Offsides, 4 offsides to their 2 offsides. Now, stay with me on this offsides. I've talked before about how that's a discipline thing, but that tells me that everyone was trying to get forward, make runs, and score. Right? Klopp told the boys, they said, get out there and just attack. Attack with everything you have, make runs. We're going to run the whole game, and you'll get caught offside if you do that. So that makes sense. That's what I'm thinking, and that's what I got from watching the game. I mean, really, the boys, I can't even explain it, man. They played very well. I'm very, very, very thrilled with what I saw today. It's good to have them back. Corner kicks, 4 corner kicks for us to their 1. Allison had to make, wait for it, 0 saves, while their goalkeeper had to make 7. Interesting. Interesting. Our defense is just, well, I don't know. I mean, Red Star didn't even seem like they would have points in the game where they would get in the final third, but it was mostly like in the corner, or they're just hopelessly crossing the ball into the box, hoping that someone gets on the end of it. But yeah, they didn't really. They didn't have the ball much, to be honest with you. And that's no more apparent than with this. Excuse me. Sorry, y'all. That's never more apparent than with this 66% possession to 34. So, also shots on goal. 21 shots for us, 11 on goal. 4 shots for them, none on goal. Wow. We destroyed this team. Wow. And guys, this is really, like, I don't know about y'all, but this is why I started doing the stats, was because you get to see a different aspect of the game that you don't notice when you're watching it. When you're watching it, you just notice the physical happenings, right? I mean, like, literally you just see what happens. Either it's a goal or it's a foul, you know what I mean? But when you see them down on paper and you connect the dots and put them into numbers and compare them to the norms that are in a sports game, it's really interesting. That's why I started doing this, and it's pretty crazy, man. I mean, God, we dominate some teams, and some games we literally just steamroll a team, and this was one of those games. Excuse me, y'all. All right, so that's it for the full stats. What is that? Yeah, I'm going back. We're gonna do more stats. All right. So how about our goals, right? So we got Mo Salah with 2 goals. Mane back to scoring ways, and of course Firmino, right? Shaqiri played absolutely excellent. Trent, as always, was great. And then Fabinho, y'all. I want to talk about Fabinho. So when we signed him, right? Come back with me, y'all. All right, if you're here, just stop what you're doing and just listen to me real quick. So you guys remember, as a fan, you totally didn't see the Fabinho signing coming. It was out of nowhere. Literally out of nowhere. There wasn't a link. I mean, if there was a link, it was the day of. I think some of the journalists may have mentioned something in the morning, and then at the end of the day, your boy was signed. But, sorry, y'all. At the end of the day, your boy was signed. That was quick. And when we bought him, I was like, I've heard this guy's name before, but don't necessarily know too much about him. Of course, like any Liverpool fan, I go to YouTube, look at some highlights. Everything about his play is what Klopp wants in that holding midfield position, right? He wants a player that can tackle both on the move and in a stationary position. He wants a player that can press, dribble, has a good touch, and can distribute the ball also to any distance on the field. And that's Fabinho. That is Fabinho. We saw it today. This man could distribute like Henderson, quick and on pace, but more accurate and better weighted passes. Because Henderson, he kicks the hell out of that ball across the field. He really kicks it hard. And Fabinho just got a nice touch to him. He's good on the ball. And I really think that he is in a Jordan Henderson evolution. Like what Jordan Henderson could become if Jordan Henderson was world class. And don't get me wrong, I love Jordan Henderson. My jersey's Jordan Henderson. I got a Liverpool Henderson t-shirt. I love Henderson, right? I've always been a Henderson believer just because of his work ethic and the way that he plays the game. Not only that, but he succeeded Gerrard as captain. I mean, come on. You gotta love the guy. And I just think Fabinho is next level, right? And not only that, let me look how old this kid is. I want to say he's like 24, maybe 23. Let me look it up. Fabinho age, 25. Man, I was almost right. But y'all, and Naby Keita's 23. I need everyone to just pause for a second. If you've made it this far and you don't appreciate the fact that Naby Keita is 23, leave a comment why. Because seriously, that Naby Keita is like exactly the same kind of player, maybe less defensive, but the same kind of player as N'Golo Kante, right? And I'm size too, but I'm just talking about ability on the ball, ball retention. Um, in my opinion, Wijnaldum's his ball retention is far superior than anyone we have on the team at this moment. But yeah, I just wanted to Naby Keita, 23 years old, man, absolute legend. Or he's on his way to being a legend. Now, let me see if I can find some other stats on here because that's a pretty short list. All right, we're here. Yeah, no lineups conversation. That's an interesting website. But yeah. So going back to Fabinho, evolution of Henderson, right? So where I think this can take us is we now have a complete team, right? So look, just bear with me here. Okay, I'm not speaking, I'm not trying to jinx anything. I'm not saying we're the best team ever, right? I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is we have a complete team which we have not had in a long time. We had amazing attackers with Torres and Suarez, right? We had an amazing midfield with Xabi and Gerrard, right? Mascherano was in there at one point. But in my opinion, this team is complete now. So this is where I get it from. First thing when Klopp came in was he needed to adjust the culture, and he did that by acquiring attacking players first. He explained attacking style football is the most attractive form of football, right? And he needed players to carry out that game plan. So he got Mane, right? He ended up getting Salah at the time. A year later, he ended up signing Chamberlain for the midfield. But pretty much, because he had Coutinho and Lallana, who he put at the front more often than not, and then Origi in his first year. But then when he had some leeway his second year, you saw Mane out there with Firmino. Lallana was over there sometimes. Coutinho played up front, and Mane was over on the right. I mean, that's still a killer front three. But now, people, the attack is developed, right? Take yourself back to last year. Okay, last year. Klopp needs to sort out two issues: the depth in midfield, as well as creativity. Because right now we're a year and a half ago, no, a year ago. Coutinho, right? We're right after Coutinho left, so we're lacking that creative inspiration, creative ability in midfield. So Klopp gets Chamberlain in. He got him in the summer, I think, and then just had to work him into the side. But I think Klopp knew Coutinho was leaving, and that's why he brought him in last minute. All right? Because you remember that was around the same time that Coutinho was handed in that transfer request, which I don't even want to talk about. Dark days. You get in Chamberlain, and then you secure Keita. So he's got that fixed. But now he's got another problem. He's got Emre Can leaving, who Klopp hasn't played defensively. And you got Henderson, who is probably, as far as fitness goes, or in general, he's reliable. But as far as fitness goes, there are times where he's out a month, 2 months, right? He frequently has something. But when he's healthy, he's healthy. He's not as bad as Sturridge, but sometimes he'll go out with something. So you got Chan leaving. So he's got to figure out a defensive midfield position, right? He had Wijnaldum filling in and all that. But we'll get there. Milner, right? He had all those options. But he needed another option because he needed depth, right? So we're just starting the season last season, right? What's the main issue? Defense, right? Main issue is defense. Klopp could have brought in the summer, right? Because defense was the issue the whole time. He brought in Matip at the beginning because it was a free transfer. I don't believe he brought in Matip for any other reason than it was a free transfer, and he could do the dribbling job that Van Dijk currently does, right? He can hold the ball at the back, and so can Lovren. But Lovren played that holding position more than Matip, but kind of getting off topic. Let's keep going. So he brings in Van Dijk. So now you got the attacking portion of the front three and the attacking portion of the midfield, okay, which he added on to again this past summer with Shaqiri. But now he had to figure out a defensive thing. So he waits and he gets Van Dijk in the winter. And I think it's safe to say right now, Van Dijk is the entire reason people are looking at Liverpool as a side that can win things. Before Van Dijk, Liverpool's defense is what lost us games, right? Our inability to hold leads at the end of games and conceding goals last minute, all that stuff. We struggled with that. I mean, even back to in the Europa League before Klopp came, like with Rodgers, that's what we struggled with, was the defense. He got Van Dijk in, and Van Dijk has transformed our defense. I don't know if Klopp maybe he didn't know that he would be. No, he definitely knew he would be that impactful on a defense, because as soon as Van Dijk came in, he started. And you can tell immediately he is leaps and bounds above every other defender on that team. I don't care. Leaps and bounds. So now you got the attacking portion of your midfield. We didn't know he was injured, right, until he got injured. And that's why going into the Champions League, the late stages of the Champions League, it was a little scary because that depth and that creativity was kind of gone. We were left with Wijnaldum, Henderson, and Milner. You know, we didn't have a Shaqiri yet. We didn't have Keita yet. Ox was out. Coutinho's gone. Lallana's injured. You know, it was just terrible luck. Now, he needs, at this point, strictly the defensive aspects of the midfield. I think Shaqiri and Fabinho are the last two, not the last ever, but the last two pieces of the puzzle to finally get us over that hump of winning something again, right? We haven't won something in 8 or 6 years. Any silverware, 2010, 2012 FA Cup or League Cup or something. 2010, I can't remember. Maybe 2007? I don't know. I really can't remember. I have to look that up. You know, I'm doing that right now because I feel terrible that I don't know that. I wonder if I'll be right here. Let's see. 6 years, so almost 7 years is what it's going on. Yeah, I do remember. Yeah, we beat Cardiff in the League Cup final. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So, oh my gosh, this is so funny. They have a website. It's strictly a website, guys. I'm looking at it right now, and the website is called Since Liverpool Last Won a Trophy.com or -com UK. This is hilarious. And I love how these people are hating because it's 6 years, but we're the most decorated club, maybe aside from Man United, in the English Premier League, right? We have 5 Champions Leagues. That's more than United. Don't think we have more trophies though. Yeah, I need to brush up on my Premier League history. But as far as Liverpool, yeah, I remember we beat Cardiff in that. So, coming back, bring it back, people. We got Attack, we got the creative midfield coming in with Keita, Ox, even though he was injured, Shaqiri, and then you got Lallana coming back healthy, right? All those creative midfielders are there. You just needed, because the defense was sorted out with Trent, he came through. Robertson was a godsend. So now we needed the defensive aspect. And to pretty much sum everything up after this 5-minute complex rant, Fabinho is the last piece of the puzzle for me to get us over the line of winning a trophy or winning the league or whatever. We have the depth in midfield to go the distance, people. And I really think that we can do it. I don't know what competition. Van Dijk said, I remember he said recently, our only mindset is basically to win every game. I mean, what other mindset can you have? That's a captain speaking right there. The only mindset that's possible is win. There's no what ifs, there's no ties, if that happens, you're disappointed. You need to go in winning every game. That's a winning mentality. That's all that is a winning mentality, right? You don't have to be arrogant and to think that at all. It may sound arrogant, but thinking it and being arrogant are two different things. If you have a winning mentality, then that's just how you discipline yourself every day. It doesn't mean you're everything you do is just like, I'm going to win, you know what I'm saying? Y'all know what I'm saying. Anyways. So I think this is perfect. Now, could I be flying off the handlebars here way too early after just seeing 4 goals get put past Red Star Belgrade? Yes, absolutely. 100%. And that's probably what's happening. But every week, my boys give me something new to talk about. Like, they amaze me every week with what they're able to do or not able to do or whatever. They just amaze me every week. I love watching Liverpool play. There's something about it. There's something about it that's just, it's awesome. It's thrilling to watch them. I can't watch them sitting down. Like, I have to stand up and watch them, right? That pissed me off too, because when I went to see him in Michigan, I got front row and I was standing up and people are bitching at me to sit down. And I'm like, I was fuming. I was like, are you kidding me? Paid how many hundreds of dollars to be here? Which I got screwed out of, by the way. I need to be more. I was like, I'm gonna buy them the day that they come out, and it turns out the price dropped like over $100 at the end. But I'm an idiot. I said that at the beginning of this podcast. I'm an idiot, right? Oh my goodness. But guys, it's just been awesome to see him play the last few. I mean, really, just this season. I think we're so ready to take that next step to win and then become a destination club, which we have started to become through last year and this season. And at this point, I'm not even worried about people wanting to come to Liverpool. I feel like players already want to come work for us, to play for such a great club. You know what I mean? It's just, that's what happens when you build a culture that's about winning, working hard, being a good person, right? Klopp's not preaching bad sportsmanship or anything like that. I mean, it's a lifestyle. When you play any sort of sport at this level, a lot of your success comes from the atmosphere in the dressing room and the work ethic of the play, right? It's just like any office. It's just like any office, right? The only difference is you're playing soccer and you have a coach, though. That's your boss, the manager, right? It's same thing. It's just, I think everything's going right for us at the moment. With the academy, the new academy that's being built, that's just going to ensure that we are a developing club for years to come and always will be. And not only that, but our senior team is one of the top teams in Europe. It's an amazing time to be a Liverpool fan, y'all. So, I said I would make these podcasts longer, and Right now I'm hovering around 25 minutes, right? So about 5 minutes longer than what I'm usually doing. So I guess we're adding a little something. I want to try to eventually, I want to get people, other Liverpool fans, y'all, if y'all want to be on the show, once I can figure out how to freaking work electronics, comment, message, just let me know if you want to be on, and we'll talk. I mean, we'll just talk about Liverpool. What's more fun than that? Finding another Liverpool fan and just talking about your boys, right? So, thanks for tuning in today, guys. I hope you like what I'm deciding to do here. Um, if you're still with me, I appreciate it. Comment, let me know what you think. Like, subscribe if you can, and then, as always, the actual podcast is on Spotify. Same thing, just Nothing But Reds podcast. I put it on both sites for anyone who prefers one over the other. All right. Thanks for tuning in, y'all. Take care.